What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy and welcome to another video on the channel. I'm super excited to talk to you guys today about something I've started saying during my reaction to the new Union Cross update, which was amazing, by the way. During this update, we got two pretty long scenes featuring a meeting between the 5 Union leaders and a talk with Luxu and the Master of Masters. Today we'll be talking more about the meeting between the 5 Union leaders, since that is the one that probably has the most theories coming out of it, so I'll cover the talk with the Master and Luxu at a later date. This update brought back a big theory that was going around about 2 years ago when Strelitzia was revealed, Laurium's sister, which we later found out. One of the biggest questions out of many that Union Cross has right now is about who killed Strelitzia, because we know that in that same story update where she was revealed to be the 5th Union leader, we later saw what ended up happening. This discussion has had its ups and downs. Every time we thought we were getting closer to figuring out who the killer was, it quickly got derailed by something else. But I truly believe that after this story update, since we do know we're in the ending phase of Union Cross based off of secret reports and simply them just telling us, I truly believe that I've narrowed the possibility down to one person. Now, this is of course a theory and things can be changed as the story progresses, but right now I believe this individual is the killer. It's crazy that Kingdom Hearts has murder mysteries now, right? But yeah, you guessed it, I do think it's Brain. I also think Brain is responsible for a lot of other things, but let's focus on one topic for now. I've spent the past day analyzing all the Union Cross cutscenes that were released in the past 2 years. There's one scene in particular that makes me believe this, and I feel like is a huge hint, but there's also plenty of weird coincidences that only ever happen when Strelitzia is brought up. I believe Nomura hit us with the classic misdirection with introducing Laurium as the 5th Union leader right after the death of Strelitzia. We knew him as the graceful assassin, though to be fair, that was only as a nobody. The somebody of Marluxia, who is Laurium, is a lot more on the kinder side and seems to genuinely care about his friends. The main thing that took him away from suspicion was when we learned that Laurium was Strelitzia's brother, and we had a couple of story updates where he went all around Daybreak Town back and forth trying to solve the mystery, with the help of Elrena, Scold, the player, and all of that stuff. Brain has always been a suspicious character, but I never focused on him because we never knew much about him. This was until the release of Kingdom Hearts 3 and a lot of recent Union Cross updates where he happens to do most of the talking. I find it very odd that during the same scene where Laurium is talking about Strelitzia, that right after that they transition into a cutscene where Brain is talking about his motives. It was the same cutscene where we found out what Brain's goal was, and those two cutscenes were kind of like merged together. Very odd placement, I think. There is also a scene in the most recent update where Laurium mentions his sister, and Brain's facial expression definitely stands out. It comes off to me as a guilty expression. Now, Ventus and Ephemer also make an expression in this scene, but none of them stand out to me as much as Brain's. Although I find this scene to be a very big hint and was definitely the spark scene that made me want to research other scenes, this is definitely not the only thing I have. Brain, oddly enough, is also the person who gave Laurium hints on how to figure out what is going on with his sister, which is weird if he's the killer, right? Though, this is something that happens a lot in media actually, and I think this is them trying to trick us, where the person most suspicious is the one helping solve the case. It's something classic that is used to get suspicion off yourself. And plus, I'm sure in Brain's mind, there was no evidence or anything to be found. This is also the same scene where we saw Brain for the first time with the Book of Prophecies, which is funny because no one really pointed this out at the time. I think people just decided to not make anything crazy of it, but I'm not fully aware if the other members have a book, but I do know that the Master in that talk with Ava did say that there was going to be a person to inherit the Book of Prophecies, and if that person is Brain, then it would kind of make sense that he would kill Strelitzia, because if Strelitzia was the person who was supposed to get the Book of Prophecies like originally, and he was the virus that wants to rewrite the program, then it kind of adds up. Something else that I definitely want to point out as well is notice how all of these like data anomalies, these glitches that are going on in Daybreak Town, like the one with Ava and the Master of Masters that Scold and Ventus saw, and the glitch with Strelitzia as well. When you decode like the weird text that they were saying in the one with Ava and the Master of Masters, it talks about the person who was inheriting the Book of Prophecies, who was going to inherit that book. And in that same cutscene, they talk about Brain. Brain is the person they go to about Strelitzia, and Brain is also the person that they're talking about when they're talking about the person who inherits the book, because we know after this recent update that he seems to be the one who inherits it. It's like all signs are pointing towards him. Also, when you really break down the candidates for the killer, here is what I've come up with. Ventus has pretty much no reason to be the killer unless they tried to pull something with Vanitas. Laurium, I feel like through his actions of looking for a sister and us finding out they're related in the first place, has lifted him of any major suspicion. Skull doesn't have a reason to kill Strelitzia. Skull doesn't seem like the super jealous type of character, and even if she was, I believe she has way too much good in her to really do something like that. She's always hanging around the player, and in my personal opinion, was a really easy pick to become a union leader and didn't need to find any alternate way to get in, because she was pretty much guaranteed to be one, at least in my eyes. For Ephemer, same thing goes for him. We saw Ava come to him personally and hand him a rule book. He was likely the first one to even be considered for the part. Then we get to Brain. I've already explained the weird coincidences of how certain cutscenes have lined up. We know based on the recent story update that he inherits the Book of Prophecies, and he sees himself as some sort of virus that needs to rewrite the program, which if we go by Kingdom Hearts 3 Secret Reports number 11, it clearly states one of the 5 is an imposter, someone the Master did not choose. They represent a virus in the program he so carefully wrote, which is something Brain very often refers to himself as. So that alone is insane evidence that completely directs all possibilities towards Brain being the killer. I'm willing to bet at this point that Brain is likely the one who will receive the Goat of Atonement Keyblade from Luxu soon as well. That might be another video though. What also might be another video is what exactly him having the Book of Prophecies will amount to. Brain right now, I think no matter what happens going forward, if he's the killer, he's also a highly likely person to be a antagonist going forward. I can already imagine some epic clash between him and Laurium happening. So there you have it. That may not seem like much, but when you really think about it, like Brain is like one of the only people who really could be the killer and have it make a lot of sense. I feel like he has a decent build up towards him being the killer, with the facial expressions and the weird coincidences towards cutscenes, and then him calling himself a virus, and then the secret reports outright stating that that virus isn't supposed to be there, which I don't know what that means fully, because it's kind of like, if that virus isn't supposed to be there, how do they know about it? You know what I mean? Like, is that something that is written in the Book of Prophecies, that there's someone that isn't supposed to be there, that virus, someone who wasn't chosen originally? Like, is Brain like actually an inconsistency in the Book of Prophecies, which easily could branch off into a lot of other weird timeline shenanigans, which I don't know if I want or not, to be honest with you, but I really don't know like what that fully means. Like, I want someone to analyze that and tell me what they think about that specifically. Like, do you think the virus is something that is stated in the Book of Prophecies, or is this something that isn't in the Book of Prophecies but the Master and Luxu somehow know about them? I think it's going to be at least a month or two before we get the next story updates, because I think they're going to drag this out by doing more stuff with the player in the Wreck-It Ralph world. Or let me clarify, I think it's going to be a month or two before we get like any major lore information from the next few story updates. Well, I hope that's not the case. I would love to be proven wrong on that. I think we might not get another story update until close to Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. And I don't think Union Cross is going to end until like a little bit after Remind, but we're definitely getting near the ending. I'm expecting it to officially like end all of the story updates and stuff to be wrapped up, or for us to get like some sort of conclusion to like this Data Daybreak Town situation they're in by like spring of next year, I'd say. Overall though, the story update gave us some pretty juicy information that I have been anticipating from Union Cross for so long. They've been doing really good with the story updates this year. It's made me enjoy Union Cross a lot more, but it does still suck waiting more than 2 months for any major story information. Like, we were on a pretty good track with Union Cross getting story updates, important ones like monthly, bi-monthly. The only like weird part where we went a long time without any new information was when we got the Wreck-It Ralph world added in, and I think that was in like May or June, which is wow. The story update was just so good though. Like, I really loved it. I actually think that I'm starting to like fall back in love with Union Cross again. Like, I already like loved it to an extent because, you know, it's Kingdom Hearts and I know that it's going to massively impact the lore going forward. I never really had a problem with what was in the story itself. I used to not like Lorium being the 5th Union leader, but I grew to love it actually. After playing Kingdom Hearts 3 and rewatching some cutscenes and Chain of Memories, it started to kind of make sense a little bit to me. I was one of those people who was happy about Ventus being a Union leader because I felt like Ventus didn't really have too much going for him. His character was completely built on mystery in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and adding him into Union Cross would just help his character out a little bit more. It would solve some of the mysteries about him, maybe. But my main issue with the story before was, like, I didn't like that it was a mobile game and how it was paced, and I kind of still don't like that. Like, I'm not necessarily fine with how it's paced or anything, but even with that, like, I can't help but get, like, super hyped whenever we get new Kingdom Hearts lore, because I love the story just as much as I love, like, everything else in the Kingdom Hearts series. So getting new lore and having those theories to talk about with your friends and stuff is, like, really fun. I've been in, like, calls for hours with, like, certain individuals just talking about theories, going back and forth on what might happen. Will this happen? Will that happen? And that is something that I do love about Union Cross, because I feel like this game has had the most theories to come out of it out of any Kingdom Hearts game, and that's probably because, like, the pacing is very methodical, and that's also probably because Union Cross is the most mysterious Kingdom Hearts game with everything going on in the world. But this update, I feel like, kind of streamlined the story a little bit more so I can understand it going forward a little bit better, like the cutscene with the Master, which I am going to cover more in depthly in another video, where he talks about how the key timeline works, the starting point of Key, the training of Unchained, the execution of Union Cross. The way he delivered that line was pretty neat, but I really hope we get more story updates like this in the future. I'm really enjoying, like, the climax period of Union Cross. It's really fun, lots of theories, and it's overall just a really fun time. Though, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Comment down below what you think of all of this. Do you believe Brain is the killer? Do you think what I said is proof enough to make him so? Also, what crazy theories from this update have you come up with? Share all of them down below in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, you already know what to do. Leave a like, share the video with a friend or a family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the Union, all you have to do is hit that red little subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.